Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SeoSamba. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SeoSamba.com. That's SeoSamba.com.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today we have with us Mark Mele with Paris Baguette. Welcome, Mark.
Hey, welcome. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Paris Baguette. How are you serving folks?
So, yeah, really cool. Paris Baguette was really born from this love of bread and passion, so we're dealing with our guests in this wonderful, fast casual bakery space every day. There's cakes, pastries, sandwiches, salads, signature coffees, and a lot more. And it's really a true bakery, and everything is made fresh daily. So the guests just love it when they're introduced to it. They've never seen anything like it. So really a cool space to be in at this point in time.
Can you talk a little bit about the genesis of the idea? How did it get started?
Yeah, so it absolutely, and it's really kind of a cool thing how it did get started. You look at the family of brands that are behind us. This thing started in 1945 in Korea. And they started baking bread there to feed the masses. And they decided that after a short time of making this bread and fantastic bread, they thought, well, wait a second here. We're good at producing bread. Let's go into other areas. Let's produce some treats. And they did so. And they did really well at it with croissants and pastries. So throughout the years, they started to venture into different operating ideas. And in 1986, they formed Paris Croissant, an international brand. And in 1988, a couple of years later, they formed Paris Baguette. And that first store opened in Korea. And then it quickly grew from Korea into the Chinese marketplaces. In 2004, they opened market in Shanghai. And then in 2005, they entered the U.S. in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And in 2011, the brand was growing so fast, they opened their 3,000th store in Korea. So it's really picked up a lot of speed and presence globally. I think there's right now about 245, almost 300 in China. We have 94 locations in the U.S. We're kind of the weakling here in the U.S., but I'm on board to change that real quick.
Yeah, there's a little bit of room to grow, I think, in the U.S.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? The concentration for us right now in the U.S. is we did a pretty good job of East Coast, West Coast, and now we're filling in the center. We've got operations that are happening now in Utah and Phoenix and Denver, Dallas and Houston and Austin, Miami, Orlando, Virginia. So you see we're filling in Chicago. We've got 5 stores open. So it's really happening. Our goal really is to get 1,000 units in 10 years or less. And that's what was exciting for me in joining the company. And I've been on for about 120 days now. So I'm kind of the new executive to the team, but it's a brand new executive team, and we've got a big vision and a big plan, and we're going to execute on that plan. It's very exciting.
Now, for folks who aren't familiar, what is kind of the look and feel of the store? Is it kind of a sit down where you go and have coffee and dessert, or is it kind of grab and go? What's the model?
Yeah, so it's interesting, and especially in COVID times, it's evolved into grab and go, right, because of limited seating and so forth. And we're starting to see some of those things open back up again. But, really what we'd like to see is the cafe setting where people are coming in, they're sitting there enjoying their coffee, they're enjoying their fresh baked product, whatever it is, whether it's a pastry, a croissant, a baguette, a sandwich, fresh made salad. But yeah, they're coming in, they're sitting in the cafe, whether it's inside or outside, and just enjoying what it is that we offer. A big portion of what we do too is not just in COVID times, but the grab and go. It does extremely well during the morning hours, and whether it's a sandwich or whether it's a breakfast sandwich or a lunch sandwich. But the cake business is really, really strong for us. We have specialty cakes, and people are lining up to get the cakes, especially around the holidays too. So
you're selling
a real.
You're selling whole cakes and slices as well, or so I can go there and get a birthday cake for somebody?
Absolutely. Yeah. Whole cakes, slices, it's very, you look at it, if you've never been to a store, you just go online and look at the products. They're absolutely amazing. That would in itself get you out to the store when you see the fresh products, because everything's made fresh. You're not looking at preservatives. You're not looking at, just a cake that you would buy in a grocery store that's been sitting there for a few days. These are made daily, and a lot of them are made to order. You put in your order and you come pick it up the same day or the next day. There's a lot of the staff that's in the store. The bakers get in very early to bake the fresh products. The cakers get in, they're making the cakes daily, sandwich makers, salad makers. So it's really, we're more than a bakery cafe concept. But we've been doing this for years, so we're really experts at it.
So now what about from the franchisee standpoint? What does that ideal franchisee look like for you guys?
Yeah, the ideal franchisee, obviously we want them to have a business background, great financial wherewithal. If they've been in the restaurant space, that's wonderful. We at least want the operating partner, one of the operating partners, if it's multiple partners, to have restaurant space experience so they can understand what front of the house and back of the house is all about and how to organize and how to run it. I think we're especially good at, from a training perspective and operations perspective of getting the brand new franchisee and their team on board and up to speed, not only from a real estate perspective, but all the way through from a training perspective and then operations. And then, of course, once we transition them to opening, we're there to support them as well. There's really a lot of support. I think today, too, it's really important for us to grow each marketplace. And the way that we really want to do that is through multi-unit franchising. So we're appealing right now to a lot of the fast casual brands or franchisees that have those other brands that want to fill in their portfolio with a bakery space franchise. There's not, fortunately for us, there are some competitors, but not a lot of them. Some of the competitors over time that were in the bakery space have gotten out of bakery. They're the local bakers and bakeries that we knew as children in our neighborhoods. Those are all but gone. And now Paris Baguette is kind of filling that void. So it's kind of cool to see that happening.
Now, does this work well as a complementary brand? If I have, say, a bunch of pizza places or a bunch of chicken places, this can help fill my portfolio, or does it work better with some folks than others?
Well, I think, that's a really good question. And I think I would answer it this way in a couple of different ways. So you could have different food brands in your portfolio, and certainly they're run independently. So I think it is a complement in a way from an investment perspective to your portfolio. There are brands that, we could run side by side with. If you have other brands and you're doing in a non-traditional setting, let's call it and you've seen it before when you go to a stadium or you're going into a airport where you see different smaller locations to accommodate the space. We'll call them non-traditional spaces. We could go side by side with a different type of franchise, whether they're serving full meals, and then we are the bakery, so the customer can enjoy the breakfast. We can complement that way as well, or pick up a cake or a slice of cake. To your earlier point, you can get a slice of cake while you're waiting for your flight. So we'll see more of that. But I think from a portfolio standpoint, it makes a lot of sense to diversify.
So now, as you kind of attack 2021, are you seeing kind of pretty aggressive growth? Are you seeing people hungry for this product, literally and figuratively?
Yeah, great points. Yeah, we are. As a matter of fact, we've been so busy here at the tail end of 2020 with everyone feeling so optimistic about 2021 and beyond and vaccines and so forth, a lot of our franchisees that were sitting back and, feeling the pandemic really, and their sales started to grow pretty aggressively during this time period. They looked at their own portfolio, some of the multi-unit franchisees that we had, and they said, you know what, it's time to go out and get good real estate deals now. They came to us, they're signing more franchise agreements, even corporately. We're expanding. We're going into new markets corporately. We own and operate 35 of these from a corporate perspective. So we're aggressively going out, and we'll open more units this year as well. Just to give you an example, we'll execute more franchise agreements in the first quarter than we did all of last year. And we had a pretty decent year from a franchise signings last year. We executed 15 brand new franchise agreements in a COVID year. We opened up 14 new locations, and this year we have already we've signed year to date so far, and the quarter's still happening. We've got 27 franchise agreements that are executed right now. So it's people are coming back for more that had an existing location. They want more, and they're taking advantage of what they see with a brand new executive team coming in, and we're marching to the beat of that 1,000 units in 10 years or less is what we want to have open in lifestyle centers, traditional locations, more traditional locations for Paris Baguette.
Now, does it play well with the third-party delivery companies, or is this something that it's just kind of a pickup and curbside?
No, it's been playing well. And, we, just like many companies, pivoted towards pickup. And I've seen it firsthand. When I started back in November with the company, I was actually going through the training program as if I were a new franchisee. And I worked in the back of the house at 5 different locations in and around Manhattan. And our the headquarters is located in New Jersey. So it just made sense for me to work in the New Jersey and the Manhattan locations. But I was able to see firsthand how the pickup and delivery systems were working with DoorDash and some other companies, and it's pretty cool. The customers are ordering online. You see the receipts are coming out of the POS systems, and then you have separate people within the organization, within the bakery itself. They're pulling these orders, they're getting them ready. They have a special area for pickup. And it's really, this whole thing has evolved in a matter of months. And I think that's a cool part. It's changed for a lot of businesses out there, and the brands that figured it out, I think are going to do it quite well going forward. Doesn't mean we're not going to have inside service. It doesn't mean we're not going to be able to have our guests sit outside and enjoy a Paris Baguette. But the statement is so true that, this pivot was kind of the key word for 2020. And I think our brand did it really well. So yeah, pickup is working really good, and mobile app and things of this nature. It's just what now, it's just the expectation from the consumer is there. So you have to be able to accommodate them.
And then it may have accelerated some of those changes, and then I think some of them are going to stick moving forward, right?
Well, they most definitely will. And I think, you see some of the other brands doing it as well with, we're experimenting now. Should we move towards, drive-thrus? And we've got a couple testings in place right now that we're looking at. And what's that look like? How many different ways can we serve the customer? And, it's maybe a little tricky for us because it is baked fresh daily, everything that we have in the store of all the products. I think there's a total of almost 140 products that we have that are, the majority of them are made and baked fresh every day. So it's once the customer understands what we have and, what they enjoy receiving, I think it becomes easier for us to determine how to deliver that in a fashion where we're not sacrificing quality and they still have an opportunity to get what their expectations are still high, and we satisfy them.
So now, was there any challenge having an international kind of foundation and then moving into America from a culture standpoint? Was that something that was helpful? Was that something that had to be navigated a little bit?
Well, I think from a development standpoint, certainly not from a experience standpoint, from the consumer standpoint. When you have such a high quality product in so many ways, hitting the marketplace doesn't matter. You walk into the bakery and you're like, you're blown away. This is fantastic. So there certainly wasn't a challenge there. I think from a growth perspective, expansion perspective, it was, okay, where are we going to do well best in? What type of market? And I think the non-traditional type markets were first experimented with, and we were very, very successful there in non-traditional locations. And that is, in a lot of cases, you'll find a Paris Baguette. It will be located in a Asian shopping center. You'll see some of the H Marts or 99 Ranch, Zion Market, different places where you have a large concentration of the Asian Americans coming there for the grocery stores that are there. And then you'll see the Paris Baguette bakery as well. But we've proven also now in a very short period of time that from the franchise agreements that we're executing and from the new stores that have opened in the past couple of years, that the traditional locations, the lifestyle centers, the prime A real estate around the country, more eyes are on the Paris Baguette brand, and that's what's going to accelerate growth. The franchise agreements that we're signing today are just that. These are the lifestyle centers, and it's amazing how many people are being exposed to the product now, and that's really what's going to happen and give us the accelerant that we need to pull ahead in the marketplace. For us, it's concentric development. We'll maybe open one unit in a brand new market like maybe Columbus, Ohio, or Nashville, Tennessee. And when people see that premium prime location in the lifestyle center, then it becomes, okay, this is fantastic. How do I get one? And where do I get one? And, let's build around it. So we do concentric development. We've essentially mapped out the whole U.S. And as far as the best markets for a Paris Baguette, now we're just waiting, because we're a franchise concept, we're waiting for qualified individuals to come to us and say, this is fantastic. You guys have strong average unit volumes. You have, it just makes sense for so many reasons to be involved. But yeah, we have figured it out. And that's what the team that we've assembled here at the corporate office and my team, from a development perspective, we really get it. So it's going well.
So then you're planting kind of corporate locations in areas you want to target and expand into?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I gave you the two examples with Nashville and Columbus. Right. And this year alone, we've targeted Tampa. We still want to develop some here we think New Jersey is very underserved, and it's right in our backyard. It's right here. So there's some super hot markets that we think are just going to explode. And, the density here in New Jersey, 1,000 people per square mile, we have some of our best performing stores here in the country are right here in our backyard. So yeah, good old concentric development. And then we may, as part of an area development agreement, once the corporate store is up and running, we may give the franchisees an opportunity, depending on who it is. And again, their plan, we may give them the opportunity to buy that store and develop more in an area. And that would give them a great way to kick off the market to have an operating store, and then to, be able to put more in around that store. It's a great way to franchise. And it's not new. I mean, franchisors, in my 35-year career in franchising, that's been the best way to go about it is grow a market at a time. And we just happen to be doing it in several different markets because we do have a presence throughout the U.S. with almost 100 locations that we have open right now.
Right. Well, congratulations on all the success. If somebody wants to learn more, have a more substantive conversation with you or somebody on your team, what's the website for potential franchisees?
ParisBaguetteFamily.com is the best way to get to us. And of course, if you just Google in Paris Baguette, we're all over the web, so you'll find us pretty easily. So Paris Baguette, and then just hit the link and you'll come right to us and click on the franchise section, and you can request information anytime.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.